Hey Dylan, this is Miss Smith, your English 165 instructor at OC Tech, and in this video I want to offer you some feedback to the key sections that you submitted for the semi-formal report. So Dylan, I could tell that you've been working hard on this, and I want to give you some information that will help you to make your final draft just as strong as it can possibly be. I'm not looking to grade it at this point in time. So I'm not looking specifically at grammar, and I'm not really looking at content in a whole lot of detail. I really want to make sure that you're on the right track with what you submitted and that there are no plagiarism issues, okay? And so just hopefully this video will walk you through what I see in areas that need to be fixed before we get to that final draft. And so here in the very beginning, um, I see that you have what appears to be a return address, a dateline, and then an inside address. And so what I would say is just to make sure that this is not a part of the abstract page. This goes on the letter of completion, which is the very first page of the semi-formal report. And maybe you started that, but just didn't finish that and then just moved on to this section because this is the section, one of the sections that I asked for. So just keep in mind that this part does not go with the abstract. Okay, this goes on a separate page on its own. This is for the letter of completion. Another thing, you want to remove your name from the top because the return address should just be a return address. You want to capitalize that C in South Carolina, and you want to make sure that all of this, and then all of this is single spaced. Okay, make sure that everything is single spaced throughout your report. You want to add an I to my name right here, so always double check the spelling. And between my name and the address, you want to put in Orangeburg-Calhoun Technical College, okay? And so when you are writing that letter of completion and you're including this information on that page, you want to make those changes that I just noted. Now for your abstract section, by the way, I like your heading. I like the design of your heading. Um, just at first glance, I see that there's some text here that is not um, it's not aligned correctly. So this paragraph, it looks like it is aligned, and it is. It's aligned to the right margin, whereas it should be aligned to the left margin. Right? You see that? And so go back and change that. Um, but it looks like in terms of structure that you followed what I'm looking for with ABC format. Okay? And so that looks good. You have your recommendations here. And so just at first glance, that looks good. Now, I will say this about the heading. There is a difference between this heading and this heading. This heading for abstract is in bold. All right, do you see that? That's in bold. But this one for introduction is not in bold. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are consistent. Oh, and this one is a size 18, and this one is a size 20. So just be consistent throughout. You can leave it all as 18, just be consistent. All of them should be 18 bold. Or if you want to make all of them 20 not bold, just make sure that you're consistent with all of the headings, that they all look the same. Um, Another thing, be consistent with the spacing. Here you don't have an extra space after the heading, but here you do. And so just be consistent. It's fine either way. You just want to be consistent in how you do it. So you have purpose statement, um, and industry background. Now, I do see some plagiarism issues in your report as it stands, and we need to address those because if we don't fix those, then your report could earn a failing grade. And that's not what I want because, again, I can tell that you've been working hard on this. And so what we want to make sure that we do is we want to make sure we include in-text citations wherever we've gotten information from one of our sources. But we also want to make sure that our references page, where our full citations, where our sources are located, we want to make sure that those sources are complete and correct. Okay? So in this industry background section, I'm looking for you to include an in-text citation from where you've gotten this information. And if you followed my instructions, and it looks like you have, you've gotten this information from ONET. So you can put an in-text citation here at the very end of the paragraph if you want for ONET. You can do that for where you've gotten this information. And so we'll come back to that in a second. But here also at the end of your table, you want to type the word source, put a colon, and then put the in-text citation for where you've gotten this information. This information probably also comes from ONET, so it would be the same in-text citation here and here. Okay? Now, let's jump ahead a little bit because I've looked at your references page, and this should be its own page, by the way. I know you're just kind of condensing things right now, but it should be its own page. Neither of these citations are correct. Neither of them. And you're missing one. You need 3, but you only have 2. And so I think I can help you figure out how to get that 3rd citation. But first we need to fix the ones that are here because they're incorrect. Okay? So this is not the correct full citation for your ONET search. If I were to try to figure out where you went, right, and go back and check your source, I wouldn't be able to do it on this information. And so you want to make sure that you're following proper MLA format. But like I said before, this is going to be an easy citation because you don't really have to do anything. So if we go, and I've pulled up already an ONET summary report for police patrol officers, and this is probably where you went. You'll remember that in a previous video, I was saying that if you scroll to the very bottom, and when we were doing our career analysis assignment, scroll to the very bottom of the page, under the social media icons here, let me enlarge the page a little bit. Under the social media icons, there's this link that says cite this page. Click on that, and it does it for you. So all you have to do is copy the citation that they give you, and then paste that onto your references page. So let's just say, now this will not be a part of your document. You're not going to get this document. I'm just doing this for example. So let's say this is what you now paste to your references page. Okay? And so now what will appear will be the correct MLA full citation. And I'm sorry, it's taken an awfully long time to come up. That will be your correct citation. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. Let's just make it a 12 just so we can see it. Okay? So now this is your correct full citation. What you want to do is go ahead and format it correctly by highlighting it under the paragraph feature where it says indentation. You want to go to hanging. And that means the first line will be at the left margin, but any lines that wrap over will be indented. And that helps the reader to see where each new citation begins. And so this now is your correct full citation. Okay? So I want you to go back and I want you to do that. This is not correct. This will get you in plagiarism trouble because I won't be able to check the source. So another thing you can do, remember your in-text citation is however your full citation begins. So your full citation here begins with this set of numbers. Okay? So you can use this as your in-text citation. Just put parentheses around it, include this full set of numbers, and then stick that at the end of your paragraph that I was telling you. So the industry background paragraph, just put a parentheses and put that number in parentheses. And then where you have source, then you want to put a parentheses, that set of numbers, and then close parentheses. What that would tell me is that I need to go to the references page and look for a full citation that begins just the way that in-text citation is used. And so when I go to your full citation page, I would find this, right? I would find a full citation that begins the exact same way that this that the in-text citation began. Okay? And so another thing you can do is just replace the set of numbers, and either one of these would be fine. Replace the set of numbers with whatever the keyword is. So you see this is the set of numbers here, but it's for police patrol officers. And so this is just a set of numbers that they use within the ONET system to categorize the different careers. But you could just replace it with police patrol officers. So if you were to do that, instead of the set of numbers here, you just type in police patrol officers. Okay? And then your full citation, with it now saying police patrol officers, that would mean that your in-text citation, you could write police, right? Or police patrol, right? However it begins, you want to make sure that you put in that in-text citation. That would be an appropriate in-text citation there, and that would keep you out of plagiarism trouble for that source, okay? And then the source information, do the same exact thing, okay? And so you want to make sure that you go back and that you do that. So that takes care of that source. Let's go back and let's look at the other one. So this one here is incorrect. The good news is that citing your personal interview, which is what this is, with Travis Furtick, it's the easiest type of citation. So go back into your textbook. Um, it is around page 364, I think, around page 364, thereabouts, 363, 364, in that MLA guide that the book gives us, where it has a category for personal interview. Okay? Now, in the example that they give you for MLA, it'll have email interview, but you've not done an email interview, you've done a personal interview. So just change the word email, replace the word email with the word personal, and that would be fine. But this is like the easiest citation to do. But if you have questions, let me know. It's pretty straightforward. It's not elaborate. It doesn't require a lot. So you want to go back and put that in the correct format. Okay, just follow the book's example. And so now you have one for ONET and you have one for your personal interview, but you need three. And so since you have shadowed someone who was a part of the Orangeburg Sheriff's Office, go to the Orangeburg Sheriff's Office website. All right, that would be a real easy way to do it. And just get information from their website that tells about Orangeburg Sheriff's Office. They have a mission. Probably they have a history statement, you know, a page, links on their website that talks about their mission and vision and history of Orangeburg Sheriff's Office. So you can incorporate that type of information. You just want to make sure that you put the full citation in correctly and that you put in the correct in-text citation so that I know where that information is coming from. Okay, does that make sense? And also, you want to make sure that you get to 2 pages with nothing but text. So what I would say, I would ask that you just remove this image until you know that you have 2 pages. Okay? And another thing, just make sure you keep each section separated. Okay? References and conclusion and recommendations can go on one page, but everything else needs to be on its own page. And so here, you now have about a good page. Okay? You need another page. Right? You need to add another page. What you can do is, like I said, pull information from the Orangeburg Sheriff's Office. That could be a section. You could take these larger paragraphs, like this one here, and maybe break it down into 2 paragraphs. And then I need you to just reach back into your notes and tell me a little bit more, right? This is a college level report. I need more than a page from your discussion from your shadow. So tell me about what you saw, what you observed during your shadow, you know, different things that he did, how he conducted himself. You're just following now the guideline that I've given you to answer your questions. But make sure you go back and that you add more to it because you need at least 2 pages, okay? At least 2 pages of text for your discussion section. And a couple of other things with the discussion section. Your text is way too big, Dylan, way too big. So this is a size 16 right now. It needs to be a size 11 or a size 12. Okay, so it does not need to be that big. Size 11 or size 12 is what is typical in the workplace. And you need a heading, just like you have here with introduction. You need a heading that says discussion section. Okay, so make sure that you include that as well. And again, make sure that your different sections start on a different page, right? You can include a page break there. So you're going to add another citation. You're going to take away these two that don't work, and you're going to replace this last one with the proper format for a personal interview. You're going to use whatever you searched in ONET, and it might have been this one. you're going to include this now in your references page, and you're going to then add a full citation for your Orangeburg Sheriff's Office, if that's the secondary website that you choose to use. Okay, and so that would give you your three sources. Make sure that your font size and everything is correct. That is not at a 16. That all your body text is at 11 or 12. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you have your correct in-text citations for everything. Now again, the textbook will give you the proper format for how to do a full citation for that website that we were just talking about. So go back to your book. It's somewhere between pages 355 and 365 where it talks about a full website and how to do a citation for a website in MLA format. It'll give MLA and APA. Make sure you're using MLA format. Okay? So hopefully this has been helpful. I don't want you to be in any plagiarism trouble, so please make sure that you get those issues fixed with MLA and citation and in-text citation. And if you have questions, please let me know. I want to help you. I want your report to be as strong as it can possibly be for the final draft of the semi-formal report. Okay? All right, Dylan, you're off to a good start. Just keep working, and I will talk with you soon.